poverty, the struggle life, the struggle lane, the struggle bus is becoming the new normal. People can't afford to live in this country, enjoy life, and not stress about finances. What the bleep is going on? What happened to this country in the last 5 years? This all started, this all started with COVID. Before COVID, homes were affordable. Before COVID, jobs were plenteous. After COVID, jobs were harder to find because a lot of businesses folded. Companies didn't want to pay salaries. People didn't want to go back to the office. The price of everything skyrocketed because of inflation, or what I call 20% supply chain increase, 80% greed. That's just me. I believe it's greedflation. And let me remind you that inflation, the inflation that you hate, that I hate, is good for the asset owner, bad for the liability owner. An example, if you own an apartment complex like the one I'm passing by, then inflation is good for you because it allows you to raise the cost of your rent. Whereas if you live in the apartment, inflation is bad for you because it forces you to pay more in your expense column monthly. Again, inflation good for some, bad for others. That's why I argue that no one's trying to curb inflation as much as you might think, especially if it benefits you. Now, this is not a rich versus poor, middle class versus the billionaire class. This is not any of that. If you watch my videos, you know I have no problems with millionaires, no problem with billionaires. In a lot of cases, they didn't just give that to them. These folks worked hard to get that. You can do the same thing. You're probably sitting there going, well, I can't, and here's why. Listen, as long as you believe that you can't, that story you tell yourself is always going to be true. It ain't true because it's the truth. It's true because you say it's true and you believe it. Hey, what's up to everybody in the chats? Hit subscribe, hit thumbs up, welcome to the channel. So I'm talking to people, talking to young folks, understanding that looking at the challenges that the young people in America face, I'm blown away. When I was 20, this is me, when I was 20, I was able to move out of my parents' home. I was gone before then. We didn't even really have a home. But by the time I was 20, I was on my own. Rent for a one-bedroom. Also, by the time I was 20, I had a daughter. So don't be like me. Don't have kids young, right? And so fast lane to poverty. Let that sink in. So by the time I was 20, I had my own apartment. I was paying probably about $400 to $500 a month for rent, 2-bedroom apartment. It wasn't in the best place. It was kind of semi-hood. Nah, it was hood. Now I think about it, it was pretty hood, but there were some good people in my complex. But outside of my complex, which was gated, it was rough. And so it was about $400 or something per month. My daughter and I had the privilege of having her most of the time because we were very young when we had her. And I was able to work a job. I think I was working, this was in Baton Rouge. I was working back in Louisiana. I was making, I want to say about $16 an hour. I had a job working for the Waterworks, which is the Baton Rouge Water Company. So I was working for Waterworks, making about $16 an hour. I want to say that was probably about $40,000 a year, and we were doing fine. We weren't doing great. We wasn't just walking in abundance, but we weren't struggling. We were doing okay. We couldn't just splurge, but we had enough, then we had a little left over, right? And I look at, you know, and then the cost of gas back then, dollar some change. I look at the gas now, borderline $4, depends on where you live, probably average $2.50, I'm sorry, in most cases, borderline $3 a gallon. Look at the cost of food. Bread is going up, not good for you anyway, but it's still going up. Look at the cost of eggs in the stores. You see the jokes on TikTok and whatnot about eggs. Eggs have gone up. I don't know where they're getting these chickens from, but they need to find some cheaper chickens. So cost of food has gone up. I remember when I was young, it was normal to see families roll out of the grocery stores with 2 baskets of food, 2 baskets full of groceries. Now, let me ask you, when was the last time you saw somebody roll out of there with 2 baskets? When was the last time you saw somebody roll out of the grocery store with a basket full? Most of the time, we're carrying our groceries. Most of the time, we got it in 2 hands, and we're sitting there going, what, $85 for what? What did I get? You're looking through, you're like, I must have rang something up twice. What did I do? What did I get? Wait, what did I order? You go to fast food restaurants, I've done it, where you check out, Chick-fil-A, you check out, and Chick-fil-A is like, yeah, that's going to be $14.78. Wait. I'm not even comfortable. Pump your brakes. I ain't even comfortable giving you $15 for a fast food meal. What did I get? Did you ring something else up? Am I paying for somebody else's order? What did I get? Hello to everybody in the comments. Appreciate it. Hit subscribe, hit thumbs up. Welcome to the channel. And you're like, yeah, you just got a burger, some fries, and a drink. And wow, $15 for a combo that was $7 not long ago. Right? And don't even get me started on how do you buy a house. A house? Don't even think about it. Houses are what? Yeah, these houses for a good house. I was just talking to a friend, I think earlier, or talking to my daughter maybe earlier today. And I was saying, sweetheart, just a good house that you like going home to, or love going home to, you really appreciate, you really enjoy, you'll walk into that house. That house is a $400,000 house to start. 400 to start. Now, anything under 400, depends on where you live, it's going to be okay, we bought a house type house. But if you want to walk in and go, oh my gosh, I live there, this is amazing, then that's going to be 400 and up, even here in Dallas. 400 and up. So 400 and up, 20% down means $80,000. So now you have to have $80,000 in your bank account to be able to pay and close on this house. The average American, 80% of America has less than $5,000. Where's this other 75 coming from? It's hard enough to save $500. And now you're telling me that I got to work hard, save 80 grand, give it to you to move into a house. And then now I have a 30-year obligation. Doesn't make sense. S-E-N-S-E, C-E-N-T-S. Either way, it does not make it. And I know I seem a little frustrated in this video, but I know I got a business, and I know I'm working with a lot of you to start your own middleman business, but I'm still frustrated at what I see. You can pull up to Chick-fil-A, and for the same price at Chick-fil-A to get fast food, unhealthy, you can go to, what's a restaurant? Chili's, and feed 2 people at Chili's for the same price, just a little more. It makes no sense. So people cannot afford to live. You go to the grocery store, oh my gosh. You pull up at the gas station, you need blood pressure medicine to pull up at the gas station. You need blood pressure medicine to check out at the store. I'm so frustrated because what have we come to? If you're like me, you're blessed to be in a good financial position, but I wasn't always that way. I wasn't even raised that way. I wasn't born that way. So I can relate to people that are struggling and going, man, it's too much to live. I can't, how old are you? I'm 30. Where do you live? I live with my parents. because I can't afford to move out. I got a degree. I did what they told me to do. I got a job. But all of a sudden, my job that paid 50 grand a year, I can't afford rent over 1,000. So it's either, because the 50 grand translates to 40 after taxes. It is insane. And somebody put in the comments, it's insane. Absolutely. The cost of living is ridiculous. Now people can't move out of their home, out of their parents' homes, and get their own place, because if they do, now they are either financially in a chokehold or they need roommates. And they go, I don't want roommates. I'll just stay at home. Parents, listen, don't force your kids out when they're 18. That's not a law. That's not a rule. Don't force your kids out of the house. They're going to struggle. They're going to be back. You're setting them up for failure. Not many jobs out there. I always tell people, look, if you're going to go off and go to college, that's fine. But listen, if the career you're choosing, if the degree you're choosing doesn't make you six figures to start day one, because it's easier to get a pay rate than it is to get a pay raise. I'll say it again. It's easier to get a pay rate, to start off with a pay rate, than it is to get a pay raise. There are people on your job right now who make more than you, who are not as qualified as you are, both in experience and in performance. They're not as qualified as you are, but they make more than you. You know why? Because it's easier for them to walk in and ask for a rate start than it is for you to walk into office and beg for a raise. The cost of living is nuts. Absolutely, Paul. Insane. That's why, and I didn't even mean to go this way, but I gotta say it because I need people to understand what it's gonna take. Your job is, if your job does not pay you enough to make a living right now, there's nothing you can do. They're not gonna double your income. In a lot of cases, if you're 50,000 or less right now, which probably 80% of the working class, you need 100 to feel comfortable. Guess what they're not going to do? They're not going to double your salary. They're not. So now the question goes, all right, now what do? I know they're not going to give me double, which is what I need. I'm never going to be able to afford a house on this salary, not a decent house. I can barely get a new car or the car that I need. What am I going to do? And I will tell you exactly what you need to do, because if this was me asking those questions just 5 years ago, I would tell myself the same thing. Number one, get rid of any expenses you don't absolutely need. If you do not need it, if it's not a must, get rid of it. Get rid of expenses that you don't need. That's number one. You don't need the cable, get rid of it. You don't need the Wi-Fi, get rid of it. You don't need all the apps or the streaming services, get rid of it. You don't need the $150 a month phone. You can go get a cheaper phone for $30. Get rid of it. Who cares what people think? A lot of you're where you are because you care about the circle around you and what people's opinions of you would be. My advice to you is don't worry about what other people think. Who cares what other people think? I'm trying to survive from day to day. I'm just trying to get by. I don't care what other people think. I don't care about other people's opinions. No one is coming to save you. No one is coming to rescue you. When your bills are due and you need to pay them, you're going to be the neck that's on the chopping line, on the chopping block. It's not going to be anybody else but you and your family. So please don't worry about what other people around you think. Who cares? Who cares? They laugh at you. Who cares? Don't even think about it. I don't care what their opinion is. What do you think the neighbors say about you, seeing that you guys are struggling and you know, bill collectors are calling and knocking on your door, and I don't care what they think. I don't have an opinion about that because I don't have an ounce of concern or care about that. I don't think about that. I don't know their situation. I know a lot of people who live in my neighborhood. I was just talking to my wife the other day, and I said, now I understand. Well, she brought it to me because women are smarter than men. Because I had told her, I was like, I got a lot of friends back here. They're very close to paycheck, and these are, you know, $500,000 houses and up. And she put it on my mind the other day. She said, everything's expensive. These people bought homes with jobs. They could have lost their jobs, got a cut in pay, expenses went up around their jobs, but salaries didn't go up. And she said, just like that, you miss a check or two and you're paycheck to paycheck. And I said, you know, I never thought about that. I never thought about all the people who are working their butts off, but due to things that are out of their control, prices go up. So number one, cut things that you don't need. If you can live without it, and it's not life or death, and it's a significant cut, cut it. Cut your cable, cut your internet, might save you $150 per month. Just get rid of waste. I know $150 a month, $1,600 for the year, if I'm not mistaken, it's not gonna make or break most people, and I know it's not gonna make you rich if you save it. I got it. But for now, it should be a part of your blueprint, right? So the first thing, cut expenses from things you know you do not need. Cut them, get rid of them. All right, that's out. Now what do I do? All right, that $150 you got, I'm not gonna tell you pour that into the stock market and wait 20 years. Compound interest, which I think one of the biggest scams ever. Why not enjoy life while you can, while you're still young and healthy enough to do it? I hate when people drive slow on the roads like this. They should not be on these retreats. But cut expenses on things you don't need. That's number one. Number two, understand that your job could be here today, gone tomorrow. So now I need you to start thinking about, if my paycheck is gone, how am I going to make money? So we're going to change. Number one, cut everything that you don't need. Cut unnecessary expenses. Number two, shift your mindset. Start thinking differently. Stop thinking your job is safe, secure. It's not. Stop thinking that your paycheck's going to be there tomorrow. There's a possibility it won't. Right? You pay everything. Here's an exercise. Sit down at the kitchen table. You've heard me say it before. Write down all your monthly expenses. Write down how you pay for each one next to it. If the answer is paycheck, you are in trouble. Because if the paycheck gets removed from the equation, what are you going to do next? Which brings me to my third move. After you cut expenses and then shift your mindset, the third move is going to be find another way to make money. All right, so you need another stream of income. I recommend no less than 3. But you need another stream of income. So while you have that job and you cut those expenses, but you listen to these videos and you know that the job is not safe, you know that a paycheck cannot be your only source of income. Now, look for other ways to make money. Look for opportunities to create other income. How do you do that? Ask yourself, if I had to make money today and I didn't have a job, how would I make money? I don't care what you do. You could bake cookies and cupcakes. You could save up and buy a vending machine. You could start a middleman business. You could start any type of business. My point is, you have to find another way to make money that does not include your job or your paycheck. The guarantee. Let me know in the comments, guys, if you guys understand what I'm talking about. Let me know if I'm making sense, if this is hitting home and I'm making good points and you're like, I got you, brother. Running on with that. Let me know. Helping you. But if your job is your only source of income, you're in the income danger zone, because you could have that job today, not have it tomorrow. All right, brings me to my next point. I know this one's going to shock you, it's going to drive you nuts, but it is what it is. You need to listen. The rules that your parents and grandparents played by when it comes to finances, they were great for them, for that era, for that time. You and I live in a different era. You and I live in the era where money moves very quickly, things happen very quickly, and things change very quickly. For your parents and grandparents, they were able to experience safe, secure jobs. For you, it won't happen. For your parents and grandparents, they were able to build their lifestyles around their paychecks. For you, it won't happen. They were able to have one source of income. Too dangerous for you. They were able to afford a house easily. Won't happen for you. They were able to stack money in a bank and leave it there and actually get interest. They actually got rewarded by the bank for depositing money. Banks no longer need your money. They can just print money at will. Go look up the fractional reserve rate. Whatever you put in there, they can essentially multiply it by 10 in credit. You put $1,000 in it, the bank has $10,000 to loan out. Unbelievable, I know. Essentially, it's printing money and robbing people 1,000%. Absolutely, Paul. 401k is a scam, in my opinion. May not have been designed that way, but what it does is it takes control of your money away from you for the next 20, 30, 40 years. You give it to people who have no idea what to do with it. They only benefit from the fees and whatnot. Whether it goes up or down, it doesn't matter to them. They're not in the market. You're in the market. Your money's sitting in a mutual fund, buying up just anything. Buying up their friends' stocks. It could be happening just like that. These mutual funds could go save corporations. Hey, we got $100 million in this one. We're going to come buy your stock. Just nuts. The idea of giving up control of money. Well, people are going to say, well, you might as well invest. You're going to be here for a while. You don't know that. You don't know what the tax rates are going to be in 20, 30 years. That money, let me ask you this. If it was such a good investment, why don't they give you loans to get it? Why don't anybody loan you money to invest in your 401k? The banks don't, lenders don't. If it was such a good investment, why wouldn't it be there? If it was such a good investment, why wouldn't there be insurance? Nobody offers 401k insurance as far as I know. If it was such a good investment, right, then why are you penalized when you come to take your money out of it? But it's a great investment. That's what you're telling me. But you're also telling me if I try to touch my money that I gave to you to put into your market, nothing wrong with the stock market. I'm just saying, right? Now, if I take my money back, you penalize me for touching my money? What? Make that make sense. It doesn't. You can't spin it another way. It doesn't make sense or sense. Right? Don't make dollars, it don't make sense. For 20, 30 years, just give my money to you and just go struggle in life. Yeah, well, by the time you're 65, what, 30 years from now? You know what I could do with that money now? I could take $10,000, start a business, be rich in a year. Not only is it hard for most of you right now, but one thing a lot of you overlook is opportunity. I'll just say that. It's also good for a lot of you right now if you see opportunity. There's probably more people became millionaires over the last 5 years than any time before in history. Opportunity is there. Here's my last one. I'm almost to my neighborhood and I'm about to get off here. Kind of getting hungry. I haven't eaten in 2 days. I haven't been feeling good, but I had to do this video. Just something in my spirit told me I guess it's time to start cooking. Get on here and let them know what's happening. Get on here and vent. So, all right, pulling into the Meridian. I'm in my neighborhood, but I wanted to say this. This one's going to get me in a lot of trouble, I know, but you guys need to hear it. Stacking money in the bank. I know I'm not going to get an amen. I know y'all probably going to walk out the church at this point, but I'm telling you, stacking money in the bank, and nobody's going to tell you this, so it's going to make me sound like an idiot, and a lot of you probably going to think I am after I say this, but I'm telling you, I've done this, and it's a no-go. If you stack money in the bank, just be honest. If you stack, I might come and get a burger out here at the park. We got a food garden in the front of the neighborhood. I love this neighborhood. So, but if you stack money in the bank and leave it there, life and time will take it away from you. It's just the way it is. I can't even explain it. You could go in there and just be like, I got everything mapped out. I don't need to touch this bank account. It's just going to sit there. Number one, they don't pay you interest, so it does not benefit you to stack it there. Number two, time and life will consume it. You'll look up and go, wait, what happened to yeah, I told you. Time and life just going to show up and empty that account for you. Well, I got this expense. Yeah, something happened with the car. Yeah, well, I got this medical. I know. You can't just sit on money. It's just, money's not even good. Money's not even healthy for you to just sit on. You should never, ever want to just sit on money. It's a terrible idea. It's the worst thing you could do with money is sit on it and bury it in a bank account. Yes, I said that. The worst thing you could do with your money is stack it in a bank account for the purpose of stacking it and leaving it there. If you do that, the banks are going to win. They're going to take the money from you and go, well, they don't even take it from you. You give it to them, and they'll take it and multiply it by investing and getting into something. They know the money in the bank is dead. They use it to make more money. The bank is a business. I hope you understand that. It ain't Sesame Street. It's a business. If they don't make money, they close doors. People are there making salaries. It ain't non-profit. It's for profit. Understand how they work. I wish schools would teach our kids this stuff instead of teaching them dumb stuff. I almost said something else. You know what I was about to say. Make sure your kids are prepared. Make sure your kids are learning. I teach my kids. They're young, but I teach, hey, don't buy houses with paychecks. I'm programming you. If your paycheck is how you're going to buy the house, just say no. Don't buy houses with paychecks. Don't stack money in the bank for the purpose of leaving it there. If you're going to stack money in the bank, have a purpose for the money. Hey, you saved up 10 grand, Paul. What are you going to do with the 10 grand? Hey, I got a plan. I'm going to use this. We're going to get our first snow cone truck. Okay, bet. Now, good. Save your money. Get your snow cone truck. Go into business. What if I strike out? You already struck out if you don't swing. You're already out if you don't swing. Brings me to my last point. A lot of you, you're so chicken, you know what? If you just stop being afraid to make a mistake, and I blame school, because school taught you that. School taught you that if you think differently, it's wrong. If you can't show your work on paper, it's wrong. If you get an answer wrong, you fail. School put that idea of failure. Think about it. Nobody at home taught you that you were a failure. School introduced you to that. I got a 4-year-old son, never had a bad day. He come out of the class one day, teacher walks out, it's like, yeah, Weston's kind of, he's kind of had a bad day. He's got a bad bear. Wait, pump your brakes, Miss Ma'am. Let me talk to you. Let me holler at you, like LA Knight say. Let me talk to you. Number one, my kid's 4. He's not allowed to have a bad day. He only has good days. Number 2, don't walk out here and embarrass my child. I don't care what you communists think. Teachers might be good people, but they're communists mentally, mindset-wise. And don't send bears home. I will send them back to you. Don't do that. My kid always have good days. He's a child. Don't come out here and talk to me about a child being a child. What do you want from him? And him to act like an adult? He's 4. Get out of here. Don't get me started. Somebody said, I don't plan on ever retiring. That's a good point, Paul. I'll leave y'all with this. Don't stack money in the bank, guys. If you stack it in the bank, have something for it to do. Don't just leave it there. That's my warning to you. Take the money, use the money. What do you do? Whatever you need to do. If you want to work with me, I'll teach you how to start a middleman business. You can have your business up and running in 90 days. If that's something you want to do, make money from home while you still have your job, still got that side hustle, that middleman business going, making money. I've been doing it since 2020. I don't have a job. This is all I do. Takes care of my family, bought us a new house, bought us 2 new vehicles. That's all we do. So if you want to start a middleman business, put the word middleman in the comments below. Get the free training link so you could get started in the class before the price goes up. That's all you got to do. Last thing, Paul mentioned retirement. Thanks for watching, Paul, and everybody who's watching. I appreciate everybody. Shout out to all of you. I know a lot of this stuff gonna catch you off guard, but you need to hear it because times have changed. Money, the rules of money are not the same as they used to be. That since the game has changed financially, you've got to change the way you think. So last thing is retirement. You don't hear me talk about retirement. I have no intentions of retirement. The reason I don't talk about it is because I feel like if you get something you enjoy doing and it makes you a bunch of money, it doesn't even have to be your passion, just something you enjoy doing enough where it makes you a bunch of money. You like doing it. It's not a burden to you, and you're going to want to do it as long as you possibly can. I enjoy teaching people how to build a business from their phone. I'll do it until I can't do it anymore. Retirement is not a goal, sitting around doing nothing, not a goal. All you're going to do is frustrate yourself, disappoint yourself, stress yourself out because you're going to look at your account and go, I don't have enough to retire. Why are you thinking about retirement? That stuff is gone. Retirement is gone. It's obsolete. It's obsolete. Gone. Vamos. Gone. Probably never be back. But here's some better news. You don't have to worry about retirement. Stop thinking about that. Find something you enjoy doing and make good money and live your life. Don't worry about retiring at 65. At 65, be on the golf course, be in the airport traveling and making money. Do things you enjoy doing. That's all I'm telling you guys. So anyway, I'm home. Family's home. I see the cars in the driveway, in the garage. So, all right, I got to go. I don't think my wife wants me to park in the garage. I'm always... Well, I ain't going to say that. I don't want to get in trouble. So, all right, guys, I got to go. Hope y'all enjoyed this video. Put the word middleman in the comments if you're like, man, say less. I know this job's not safe. I know I need to make more money. Teach me how to find customers for other businesses and get paid every time I find one. Then put the word middleman in the comments below. I got to go, guys. Have a blessed day. Peace.